Masking is the process of selecting a specific area within an image where an adjustment will be applied. This makes masks indispensable for making precise, targeted changes, like darkening the sky or enhancing eyes in a portrait. For years, masking was an almost exclusively manual operation, and therefore slow and laborious. Today, thanks to AI, most of the work is done by the software. However, the selection made by AI is rarely perfect. For this reason, it is advisable to be familiar with the brush, the main tool for manually correcting masks. In this lesson, we will focus on the brush, which we will then use to correct automatic masks created with more advanced tools. General use of masks. The masking tool is activated by clicking on the last of the 5 icons below the histogram, or by pressing the key combination Shift+W. It first asks you to choose the type of mask from the various options available. For instance, select sky or background, linear or radial gradient, and so on. In this episode, as mentioned, we will focus on the most manual and precise tool, the brush. Once you have made your initial selection, mask management is handled by this panel. Which can be minimized, docked to the edges of the development area, or moved, and can temporarily turn off the settings using the usual eye icon at the top left, for a quick before and after comparison. Each image can contain multiple masks, and each mask can contain multiple selection areas. The same adjustments will be applied to all areas of the same mask, choosing from this set of tools that includes all the main development tools. Conversely, different adjustments can be applied to different masks. To add or subtract a portion to the active mask, press one of the 2 Add or Subtract buttons, while the large plus button creates a new mask, as stated by the label next to it. Note, each time a new mask is created or a portion is added or subtracted, the initial choice of type is proposed again, so it is possible to start with an automatic function, for example, linear gradient, and continue refining with the brush. Each mask or single selection corresponds to a placeholder within the image, whose icon represents the type of mask. Each mask or portion of a mask created can be hidden by clicking on the eye icon next to it, and managed by clicking on the 3 dots next to it. You can rename, change from add to subtract and vice versa, intersect with other masks, duplicate, and delete. Note, hiding a mask does not cancel its effects. It is just a way to more easily distinguish the masks applied. Overlay. The mask can be made visible or invisible by unchecking the Show Overlay checkbox. There are several ways to view the mask area. Clicking on the 3 dots at the bottom right opens the context menu with the available options. Color Overlay. Color Overlay on black and white. Image on black and white. Image on black. Image on white. White on black. Color overlay on black and white is our favorite. If you choose to highlight with an overlay color, you can choose which color. Using the brush. The basic operation of the brush is intuitive. By moving the mouse, you simply paint the area of interest. The upper part of the right panel allows you to set its properties. Lightroom offers two memories, A and B, in which you can store 2 sets of parameters, for size, feather, flow, and density, which determine its response. Size is self-explanatory and can be quickly adjusted by rotating the mouse wheel when the pointer is inside the image. Feather is, so to speak, the hardness of the brush. Setting feather to 0 will produce a selection with sharp edges, while higher values will produce progressively softer brushstrokes. The outer circle of the pointer highlights the feathered area, while the inner circle highlights the sharp area. Flow determines the amount of paint transferred with each brushstroke. For example, setting it to 25% will require 4 strokes for full coverage. Finally, density is a safety limit that sets the maximum opacity that can be applied. For example, setting density equals 25 means that coverage will never exceed 25%, regardless of the number of brushstrokes made. Note, density is independent of the selection of brush A or B. The chosen value applies to both brushes. Straight lines. When necessary, you can draw horizontal or vertical lines by holding down the Shift key. You can also click once, then click again at a new point while holding down the Shift key to create a straight line connecting the 2 points. Automatic selection. In case of clear edges, the Auto Mask feature is a big help. By checking the box of the same name, Lightroom makes a smart selection, staying roughly within the margins. A medium feathering is recommended. Unfortunately, Auto Masks tends to create uneven selections, which will then need to be evened out with a wide, hard brush with full opacity, keeping the Auto Mask box unchecked.